Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of On the Couch with Fouch. I am in Lancaster, wherever you're from, depends on how you pronounce that. But we're in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, here at Calvary Church for the Cathedrals Family Reunion. And very last minute, I got the opportunity to ask Dustin Doyle to do an interview. So here he is, folks, Dustin Doyle, the newest singer for Ernie Haase Signature Sound. Thanks for joining me,
Absolutely, man. Good morning, everybody. It's good to be here. I love On the Couch with Fouch.
Or On the Fouch with Couch.
On the Fouch with Couch. Seen a lot of episodes, and so I'm glad to be here.
So which one's your favorite episode that you've watched so far?
I really like the one with Doug.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the one with Doug. I love Doug, man. He's just such a cool dude. He's one of the realest guys I've ever met.
And you took his job,
and
so...
I took his job right from him. No, man, that's another thing. A lot of people have come up to me and have said that, you have mighty big shoes to fill, and they said, oh, Doug's going to be a hard one to replace. And I said, you're absolutely right. He can't be.
Yeah.
Can't be replaced.
Right.
And he's been my biggest supporter in this big transition, and he's just been awesome. Love him to death.
There you go. Right. Doug's interview can be found on the YouTube channel. It's a great interview in my opinion. Another Hoosier that I got to interview, so that was cool. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Bowling Green, Kentucky, or just north of Bowling Green. And a very tiny community, but nobody knows where that is. So some people know where Bowling Green is, so that's what I usually say.
Right.
But when I was 21, I moved to West Tennessee, a little town called McKenzie, to go to college. And
is that Bethel out there?
Bethel University, that's right. And I was part of a performing arts program. Met my wife there. I was actually there to sing a Southern Gospel quartet, and she was there for musical theater. And once we graduated, she actually graduated in 4 years. I didn't know people still did that, because I didn't. And
right.
But she
neither.
did, and she was offered a great position as the associate director of that theater program. So we lived there in McKenzie and moved from a small town to a small town. So
you like small town living?
I like small town living. It's just easier that way.
Very cool. What is your heart? Give them a little piece of you. Okay. Where are you at? What do you love? Just share a little bit of your heart, because a lot of times, a lot of these questions are, what's your favorite song? What are you most looking forward to with Ernie Haase? Right. It's stuff about the group, but share you. Okay. Just a little bit.
Well, for a long time, I grew up a pastor's kid, and I when I was about 15 or so, I decided, I didn't do it knowingly, but I wanted to, I felt like I knew it was better for my life than God did. And so I basically went on a downward spiral from there for a lot of years. Still going to church every time the doors were open, right. But just wasn't living it. And I made a lot of mistakes, and I've done a lot of things I'm not proud of. And when I was about 25, 26 years old, I had that moment where, I realized that I wasn't proud of what I'd become, and I thought God was finished with me and couldn't use me anymore. And so I at that point I decided, because I was in a rock band in high school, and I knew I wanted to do something with music and wanted to be a musician in some form or fashion. But when I really realized where my talents came from, and knew that God could take them away just as easy as He gave them to me, and that really hit me hard. And so I tried to find a way. I just prayed, God, please let me know you're not finished with me. It would just be a tragedy if I couldn't do this, and if I couldn't use these talents that you've given me. Right. And about a week later, because I was at a really bad point in my life, and about a week later, I got a Facebook message from Anthony Fusello, offered me the job with Beyond the Ashes. I had just graduated. Timing was perfect. I knew God answered my prayer, and I promised him that day if he would let me keep my talents, that I'd use them for him. I'd give them back to him, and and he says, when you're faithful in the small things, make you ruler over many things, and so I feel like this is all part of that process. And so to be here, to have this platform, be here at this level, it's unbelievable. It's surreal to me, and I just can't believe, that I'm here. Last night, standing on stage with y'all, being here at this Cathedrals Family Reunion event, standing on stage with these guys that I listened to as a kid, and just these were celebrities to me, and they still are. I'm up there starstruck, thinking, what am I doing up here? People like me don't get to be up here, and that's not true. God uses the smallest people, and so I'm just thankful that he's willing to use me in some way, and that's what I want to do. I just want to be used by God in whatever way He wants, and this is where I am in my life right now, and so I'm gonna do the very best that I can.
That's great, man.
One of my favorite verses, one I keep going to, is James 5:17, and it simply says, Elijah was a man with a nature like ours. And then it goes into his prayer life, because he had a serious prayer life. It talks about how he prayed that it wouldn't rain, and it didn't. And then he prayed it would, and then it did. Now, a lot of people say, well, that's kind of an obscure verse. Well, it reminds people, in my opinion, that the Bible is full of screw-ups. It is full of people who messed up big. Our biblical heroes were some of the biggest mess-ups. And Elijah being the man that he was, and destroying the prophets of Baal, and living so closely to the Lord that the Lord didn't even allow him to die. He just took him to heaven as he was, and they make it very clear in the Bible. He was a man just like me and you. He had a nature just like ours, and he was susceptible to the same sins and the same temptations, and God used him in a big way. And it's just a reminder for me that if He can use Elijah, He can use me, He can use you, and to do just as great of things.
Yeah, He sure can, man. No doubt. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Kennedy Johnson wants to know, what is your favorite Christmas song?
My favorite Christmas song. Okay, my favorite Christmas song. Well, I have several, depending on what mood I'm in, or what Christmas album I'm listening to. Because you go back to the crooners, and you listen to Sinatra's Christmas album, or Bing's Christmas album. You have certain favorites from that, but I would have to say, honestly, one that has really become my favorite is a song called Joseph's Lullaby by Mercy Me. And it's just, especially being a father now, you never really hear about it from Joseph's perspective. And if you've never heard it, I really highly recommend you listen to it. And it's a fresh perspective on Joseph's side of the story. And one of my favorite lines from it is can you feel, he's holding the little boy, and he says, can you feel the weight of your glory? And do you understand the price, or does the Father guard your heart for now so you can sleep tonight? And especially, having a son, it hits me in a very specific way. And that's right now, at this point in my life, that's probably my favorite Christmas song.
Joseph's Lullaby.
Joseph's Lullaby. Mercy Me.
Look it up. Isaiah Graham wants to know, and this is something I didn't know about you. As a guitarist, do you play guitar?
I do.
Okay. As a guitarist, what is your go-to song for warming up?
Well, I grew up playing blues guitar. I love blues guitarists. Stevie Ray Vaughan is probably my favorite guitarist, and so I usually my go-to is just to play pentatonic scales, a blues scale, and so there are several kind of go-to Stevie Ray songs that that I go to, but it's more than a song. It's usually just scales. I just like kind of just making up a guitar solo on the fly and just playing that. But yeah, I've been playing guitar for many years. Actually, I had the opportunity to play. I was singing with Beyond the Ashes at the time, but I played guitar on the Oh What a Savior taping for Ernie, and so I was his lead guitarist on that video. So that was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
A lot of fun.
Justin Gilmore wants to know, speaking of Signature Sound songs, what's your favorite Signature Sound song to sing?
To sing. Right now it goes back and forth between Soldier Fighting to Go Home and Jesus Changed Everything. Simply because of my testimony we were talking about, Jesus changed everything, really hits me in a specific way. And Soldier Fighting to Go Home, man, there's nothing that gets me tore up faster than watching those videos on Facebook of soldiers coming home to their families.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna get misty even talking about it. So and that, and then tying it into, we're in spiritual warfare every day, and we're in the army of Christ, and and we're just fighting to get home ourselves, and so that, again, that hits me in a specific way, and those two are the ones that really get me fired up on stage. So.
Great songs.
Yeah.
So here's a little lighthearted stuff here. Anthony Facello. Sorry about that, Anthony.
I'm sorry, Anthony.
He spent a lot of time with you.
Yeah.
And so this is something that I'm assuming is inside joke, inside information, but you're going to get to share with everybody here today. How do you feel about cheese? I have no idea where this is going, so hope it's good.
Well, when I was a kid, I hated everything about cheese. Cheese was just the most disgusting thing on the planet.
Even Cheese Whiz?
Oh my gosh, oh man. Yeah. Funny story about cheese. I know we're running out of time, but Cheese Whiz. I had a great grandfather who used to put Cheese Whiz on everything, even desserts. Okay, his favorite snack. Oh gosh, it was hard to even watch as a kid. Those circus peanuts, those orange circus fluffy peanut things.
Yeah.
That was one of his favorite snacks, was putting Cheese Whiz on circus peanuts. So I was traumatized as a kid watching people eat this stuff, and I was pretty much an adult before I even would eat anything with cheese. But there are still certain cheeses that I can't even stand to look at. Feta cheese being one of those. Anthony, he loves feta cheese, and those Kraft singles, those the American cheese. It's bad. It's bad. Bad stuff.
Interesting. So if you ever want to get them, and here's my suggestion: bring a bag of cheese to the next Signature Sound concert and present it to Dustin as a gift.
And
He'll love it.
And I'll sign it for you and hand it right back to you.
I've never heard anyone have a problem with cheese, but everyone's got their thing, I guess. And the last question comes from another guy that he traveled with. This one we're going to close on. By the way, we got about halfway through this interview, and I completely forgot. I don't have any Fouch Zone questions. Failure. I'm sorry. No Fouch Zone questions this interview. I'm so very sorry. I forgot them. And I'm sorry to you, because that's the best part of the whole program.
That's all right. Maybe we'll pick up with a part 2 at some point.
Yeah, there you go. Last question for the interview. Kellen Monroe, another guy you traveled with in Beyond the Ashes. If you were stranded on a deserted island and had to choose between a Coke or gummy bears, what would your choice be?
Coke. Boom, Coke. There is nothing better to me than an ice cold Coca-Cola. Not Pepsi.
No, different.
Coca-Cola.
Fountain?
And,
you like the fountain Cokes
yes,
the best?
I do. My favorite are those original recipe, I guess, say glass bottles that you find. They don't sell them everywhere, but when I do, oh my gosh, there's just something about them. But
bag of cheese and a Coke. Can't go wrong. He'll either love you or he'll hate you. So thanks for joining me, man. I appreciate it. Hey, guys, thanks so much for watching On the Couch with Fouch. Please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe on the YouTube channel, like the Facebook page, whatever. Make sure you're following along. Interviews with your favorite Southern Gospel artists. Appreciate your time today and hope that you enjoyed this interview with Dustin Doyle. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, guys.